Do you mind if I rant for a little bit? So as you may have surmised by my Twitter feed and my latest YouTube videos, I've been watching RWBY. I have been enjoying RWBY. I understand it has flaws, it has some pretty significant ones, but as a whole I find it very entertaining. In fact, one of my few video ideas is to do a retrospective on the series from the first 3 volumes and the volumes soon after. That's the plan and I'm sticking to it. But since you don't mind and are still listening to this video, I'm gonna rant a little bit about Volume 8. Specifically the Volume 8 finale, because honestly, I can't keep this to myself for the next few months. So, obviously, major spoilers ahead. Up until this point, I've been greatly enjoying Volume 8. It is a natural progression from Volume 7. Things were going to hell, but Penny was the Winter Maiden, so everything was fine. But then, of course, Penny ends up getting hacked and things go from bad to worse. And of course, it also didn't help that Oscar was kidnapped and tortured by Salem and then Hazel. But you know what, I'm not going to sit here and talk about Volume 8 as a whole, because you're here to hear about my thoughts about the Volume 8 finale. This is called EquesTron Rants about the Volume 8 finale, not EquesTron Rants about Volume 8. Because, to reiterate, I had been enjoying Volume 8. I was expecting Volume 8 to end on a little bit of a sad note. With the opening titles showing them falling into a void, I assumed they were going to fall into a void at the end of the season, and I was correct. First there was Yang, and then there was Neo, and then there was Blake and Ruby, and then there was Weiss, and finally Jean. That's all well and good, I expect him to be fine in Volume 9. Neo redemption arc maybe? That would be nice. Nah, my problems come from the treatment of Penny. Penny Polendina. When she returned in Volume 7, I was very happy. After all, it's Penny Polendina. She's badass, she's a robot, and she's awesome. But she also had a really good character arc. I was sad to see her go in Volume 3, but, you know, she was back in Volume 7, so I thought everything's fine now. And she's the Winter Maiden, so all the better. But then Volume 8 just had to kill her off. Again! A character has died twice in this series now. And not only that, it was literally minutes after she was able to turn human. Like, literally. 2 chapters ago, they got the buff genie to turn her into a human. And then they were like, oh, we just want to keep her around longer. Because at the time, she had a computer virus in her. So we spent a majority of the volume trying to save Penny from dying. And then in the very last episode of the season, she dies anyway. And I knew it. I just knew it. The minute RWBY was like, we want to keep her around longer, I just knew it, that they were going to kill her off in the very same volume. And you know what? People enjoy it. It's fine. You know, I enjoy a lot of things that people don't like, so, you know, it's fair. But it was so utterly predictable. People were going on about how this subverts expectations. But you know what subverts my expectations? If she lived throughout the rest of the series. That would subvert my expectations. Because even me, who spends his entire life watching Zack Snyder and Michael Bay movies, is able to see that coming from a mile away. Not a mile away, from space. And other people are like, oh, I like the way it was handled. You know, fine. You know, you thought it was handled fine? You know, cool. But you know what? I've seen The Matrix Revolutions. One of the points of The Matrix Reloaded was to save Trinity and to keep her from dying. And Neo accomplishes that. But what happens in The Matrix Revolutions? She dies anyway. In the show Breaking Bad, Hank is shot and ends up on the verge of death, but his life is saved. In the final season, he dies anyway. This is not a subversion of expectations, this is a trope. A cliche, something to shock the audience.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. They killed off the person that they spent the entire volume trying to save.
I've seen it done before, this is nothing new. In fact, the 2 examples I gave did it better. They gave the audience the courtesy of doing it in the next movie or season. Here, they do it in the exact same volume. It's just so frustrating. It didn't feel natural. It felt like an easy way out. Like we gotta get to somewhere and we don't care how fast it's gonna take, we're just gonna do it. And I prayed that they wouldn't do it, that they wouldn't just kill her off in the same volume after the last volume took their trouble to bring her back, and then they spend Volume 8 trying to make sure she's okay, and then kill her off anyway. It just feels cheap. It feels bad, you know, like I don't want to say bad writing, I don't want to say lazy writing, I don't want to, but I just feel that way. I just don't understand why this was a good idea. Like, I would probably be fine with it if it was like 3 volumes later, 2 volumes later that she died. Like that, you know, obviously the main powers are gonna go to RWBY, Team RWBY. Like I feel like that's the end game at this point. Winter's gonna die, Raven's gonna die, Cinder's gonna die. I don't. What's the other? That's spring, summer, fall. Is it summer or spring that hasn't been accounted for? Whoever has that power is gonna die, and it's all gonna go to Team RWBY. They're gonna fight and kill Salem, and then they're gonna fight the gods, because you know you can't be an anime if you don't fight God at the end of it. So that's what's gonna happen. And I'm not saying that to be insulting or things like that, because if that's the end game, that actually sounds pretty cool. Attack and dethrone God. I mean, that's an awesome trope. I'm fine with that. Whatever. It's just, I've been with this show for only like a little over a year. All right, I started watching this in November of 2019, and then I binge watched the entire season. I'll get into it. So I've only been a fan for like a year and a half, maybe. But I'm not gonna drop the show. This is not like a show dropping like kind of moment, but it just, this was an example of taking it one step too far. I was fine with the cast falling into the void because I know that they're gonna be okay. They wouldn't kill them off. When Yang fell in, I was just like, it's fine. She's gonna be in the next volume. It's not the end kind of a thing. But this with Penny, I really liked her. I did. It wasn't like waifu, kind of a thing. I mean, it's a part of it, but it wasn't all of it. She was a character I was rooting for. She was always so peppy and like happy, and you just wanted to see her happy. Yeah, I know it's dumb to be sad over the death of a cartoon character. She's just a bunch of pixels, bro. She's just a drawing, bro. You hear that all the time. But for me, when I get upset over a character death, it's never that they died. It's always how and the speed in which it happened. Like, take for instance, Han Solo. That death took me out of The Force Awakens pretty badly. Like, like I said, it wasn't that he died. It was just how. It was a very predictable moment, a very predictable exit, and it just kind of killed my opening night buzz for the rest of the movie. Like, I still don't really consider The Force Awakens that great of a movie just because of how the third act turned out, and it all started when Han Solo died. And I'm not trying to equate Penny Palladino's death with Han Solo's death, because those are two different entities. But the reaction is sort of the same. Like, when you kill off a character that I care about, it's hard for me to get excited about what comes next. Like, I wasn't that excited about The Last Jedi after The Force Awakens. So I think that's one of the reasons why that movie kind of holds a bit of a soft spot, is because because even though people use it subverted expectations as sort of a thing against it, I think it worked for me because of that. So Volume 9 for RWBY just really has to surprise me at this point. Like, it really has to make me feel not as mad as I am right now, because I am mad. I'm very mad. I don't want to be mad. I mean, I don't want to take it out on the writers. I don't want to say that they're idiots kind of thing. I don't think they're idiots. They obviously are telling the story that they want to tell, and I respect them for that. I respect the hustle. It's their vision. They could do whatever they want, but it just, I don't know. I just didn't like the direction that they took. That's all. And who knows? This video may age extremely poorly, and when Team RWBY wakes up on Pandora, Penny will be there and she'll be alive and well, and it'll just negate everything I just said. I mean, like, imagine if that happens. Like, how much of an idiot I would look if that happened. If Penny was like, oh yeah, Pandora brought me back, and I'm fine now, and I just have powers. that would be great. That would make me very happy. I would probably start crying, But we'll see. We'll see what happens. See what we do, kind of thing. But yeah. So, it's kind of weird that, this video started off kind of comedically, and then now it just got really serious and they brought the mood down. But, I hoped you enjoyed my little thoughts and musings about the Volume 8 finale. The volume as a whole, it's fine. It was fine. It was 7 out of 10 kind of thing. It probably would have been higher if it wasn't for the finale, but I still liked it. I just wish it stuck the landing, which is kind of ironic since everyone fell off a cliff. But, hope you have a good day. And Raven is a great character. You're all just mean.